After Art put into shore and secured the boat, he carved a mark in the railing. He had no idea what the date was, though he figured it to be sometime in mid-June or later. If he had remembered to find out the date before he left Rendezvous, he would know now, because he had carved a notch for every day since he left. He had been on the river now for 30 days. The days had been long and lonely since Clyde's death. Once he made camp, Art took his rifle out into the woods, and less than half an hour later was back with a rabbit. He skinned the rabbit, salted it well, skewered it on a green willow branch, then put it over a fire suspended between two Y-shaped sticks. Within minutes, the rich aroma of roasted rabbit filled the air. Art had never gone down the Missouri, so he really had no idea how far it was to St. Louis, nor how long it would take him to get there. He was sure that the river didn't go in a straight line. In fact, what with all the twists and turns, he would be surprised if the river route didn't double the distance a crow flies. But he had neither horses nor mules, and floating down the river, even if it was longer, was certainly superior to walking. Shortly after nightfall, as Art was laying out his bedroll, he became aware of eyes staring at him from the dark. With the hair on the back of his neck standing up, he slipped his pistol from his belt and stared into the black maw that surrounded his camp. "Who's there?" he called. There was no response. "Who's there?" he called again, and this time he augmented his call with the deadly click of his pistol being cocked. A low, frightening growl came from the darkness. "Are you a wolf?" Art called. Thinking to lure the animal from the darkness, he took a piece of rabbit and held it up. "Come on in, boy. Come get this meat." Tossing the meat about 10 feet in front of him, he raised his pistol, ready to shoot the moment the wolf showed itself. It wasn't a wolf. At least not a full-blooded wolf, though the dog clearly had many of the markings and features of a wolf. The animal walked into pistol range, growling, its eyes locked on the mountain man, while it was moving toward the proffered morsel. Art lowered his pistol and watched the big dog use its powerful jaws to pull the meat away from the bone. The dog fascinated him, not only by its size and power, but also by the way it carried itself. It clearly showed no fear of him. When the dog finished the first piece of meat, Art threw another piece out, this one closer than the first. The dog came for it. By the time he threw the last piece of meat, the dog was quite close enough for Art to touch, and he did so, rubbing the dog behind its ears.